What if a single phone call could change everything? What if an heartbreak wasn't an ending but a beginning? What if the biggest mystery isn't out in space or deep inside the ocean but hidden between the pages of a book? Welcome back, book lovers. So, this is the second episode of Books Must Read. Today, I have 5 books, all fictional, that will challenge your emotions, twist your mind, and maybe, just maybe, change the way you see the whole world. So, are you ready? So, the first book we're going to talk about is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Thayer. So, this book really broke me, like literally broke me. Have you ever lost someone and wished that, just for a moment you could hear their voice again? So that's what happens in this book for Julie, who gets the impossible chance to talk to her late boyfriend over a call. So his name is Sam, and that's the whole story about. So, what makes this book so powerful? It's because it's so real and it shows us how the grief feels. Sometimes, it's difficult to achieve that in a book. You can read it, you can experience it, but it's actually like you're living the experience. That's how this book is. And I found myself pausing, thinking about the people I've lost and what I would have said to the people I've lost if I had the opportunity to have one last conversation with them. So if you ever lost someone and if you've ever loved and lost, this book holds a really, really very special place in your life, and it teaches you, how to have your hand in your heart and heart in your hands, and how how everyone has their own ways to feel grief, to understand it, or to just process it. So must read for anyone who struggled with letting things go. The why I think you must read this book is because it's really raw. It shows how grief is different, how real it is, and how it's okay, and it's how normal it is to to feel grief, and its love transcends death. If you are one to cry, if you're ready to cry, this book is all yours. So now we're going to a second book that's called Can We Be Strangers Again by Sridhar Sandalya. So we've all been there, even I've been there, where a stranger becomes one of the person who felt like home, and they become strangers again. So this book is like that. It's like the one person who felt like home until one day they're just another stranger. This book is poetry, pain, and healing all in one. It's like a mixture of emotions and stuff. Reading this was like it felt like me reliving my old heartbreaks, and the late night texts which I'll never be able to send, or the what ifs, like what would have happened if the person was in my life, and the memories that haunt me. Like sometimes when we think about certain people, all the good memories also rush down with them, though they're no longer a part of a life. But it also reminds that sometimes letting go is the kindest thing that you could do for yourself, by not putting yourself into the same kind of pain you've endured, or it's the best thing you could have done to the person as well, because there's no use of holding someone back who really do not want it to be. So this book doesn't teach us it, but it makes you see deep down. We all know that it was the right thing of letting them go, but it's something like more of a realization, or reassurance, and it's deeply relatable. Everyone can relate, because I bet there's even one person in whose life there's people from the beginning till the end who've been there. So I know it's like it's everyone's story is deeply relatable, and every word feels personal, as if it's like it's written for us. It won't just make you feel it'll also help you move on, or it'll give you a reassurance that it's good that you've moved on. I personally have guilt when people walked out on me, or when people uh, let go of me, or I let go of people, I often felt the guilt that didn't I fight hard? Didn't I fight harder for the person? But after reading this book, it sometimes, I got the reassurance that it's not worth the guilt. I've done the right thing, or they've done the right thing leaving me. So, it teaches you things. So, the third book I'm going to talk about is Thank You for Leaving by Ritvik Singh. It's a bit same as how the last book was, but this is, how like all heartbreaks are usually attached to, pain, to the negative things, and it's always been there that heartbreaks are associated with always something bad, but not all heartbreaks are tragedies. Few are stepping stones, and this book makes us realize that some of the best things that could happen to us. So some of these things are the best thing. This book helped me realize that, and it's a poetry collection. It's not a story. It's not a short story, but it's a collection of poems, like a poetry collection that turns pain into power. And each poem is like a letter to not the other person, but it's a letter. I would say it's a letter to ourselves, but a past self, so that it's like a conversation you're having with yourself, but your past self. I hope you get that. But okay, it's about embracing the endings and understanding that sometimes people who left us did do the right thing, or they're just doing us a favor by leaving us, because sometimes these things are necessary in our lives. So yeah, so it helps you see the bright side of a tragedy, of a heartbreak, and every poem packs with a punch. Every poem resembles power. It just does not describe the pain, but it has the power, and it inspires. So when it has the power and stuff, it inspires you to move forward. So we've talked about heartbreaks and stuff. So let's take a darker turn. So this book is called Twisted Lies by Anna. Hannah. By Anna. So this is I am a sucker for mystery. Okay, I've not had what to say. I've not quite had experience reading dark romance, but this one was really good. It was dark romance with a touch of mystery. Twisted Lies. There are other books as well along with this franchise. It's Twisted Love and Twisted Hate. We'll get to that later. But Twisted Lies. Oh my! It was really, really good. And this book has it all. It's a brooding, possessive billionaire with a dangerous past and a strong, independent woman. And the chemistry is so intense that it'll make your heart race. But here's what I love the most about it. It's not about just the romance. It's about the secrets, and it's about the lies we tell to protect the ones we love. It's not always, honesty. It's not always about being straightforward to the person, but it's good. That's the way it has to be. But few white lies are necessary to protect the ones we love. So this book shows all that. And why do you have to read? Yeah, good question. So that is because if you love enemies to lovers, this book is all that. So I don't. It's sort of intriguing. It's not just about romance. It's about intriguing. It's kind of like hate to love story. It's really, really great. You guys must try it. So we've come to the last book. It's one of my favorites of all these 5. So it's called as Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. So if you do not know who Andy Weir is, there's already a book by the author, and it's called The Martian. So Martian was a sci-fi book. So I thought Project Hail Mary was also, but when I read the description, it was all about sci-fi, and I took the book. I started reading the book. I was literally not expecting what I had. So I'll be honest. as I said, I started this book out thinking of it as another sci-fi novel, but by the time I finished, I was obsessed. It was not just sci-fi. Imagine. So the story goes like, imagine you're waking up in a spaceship alone with no memory of how you got there or what happened. That's what happened to Ryland Grace. He's the main character. Then you realize that you're the only hope of saving the humanity, and you get to do all these what to say. Yeah, this book, but sometimes all these book goes very serious, but this book has a lot of humor, has a lot of heart and soul, has a lot of insane plot twists. Even if you're not a sci-fi fan, you need to read it. Let me tell you one thing. So this book, I usually, yeah, the last book I read so much, I wasn't able to take a break with Verity, as I said in the last book. I mean, in the last video. So this book, I learned a lot of cool things without even realizing what it was, and the best part of it was I think I was stuck at one chapter. I completed a chapter, and then the ending had a really good twist. I didn't see that coming, but when that twist came, I closed the book because I have a habit of signing these many chapters for a day, and then I finish it, close the book. But this really got me hooked up. I finished that chapter. I went to sleep. I tried to sleep. I didn't go to sleep. I tried to sleep. It insanely kept me up. Didn't know what to do. I took the book again. So just because I wanted to know what happens next, I read the next 3 to 4 chapters, if I'm not wrong. Then a sort of confusions got cleared up. Then I slept. That's how insanely addicted or obsessed I got with this book. Coming to think, I cannot say more about this book without giving out spoilers, so I'll just leave this to you guys. But I can say one thing: if you start reading it, you won't be able to put this down. Even if you are not a book lover, you would not be able to put this down book unless and until you finish it. So that's how great the book is. So yes, guys, we've completed all 5 books of today's episode. Yeah, I think I should, increase a lot of books, but yeah. These books have made me cry, made me think, made me fall in love with reading all over again, and each one has its own magic. And though there are genres the same, they're almost the same, but every book was unique. Every book is unique, and everything has something in it. Its own lessons or its own impact. The question is, which one will actually change you? For me, books always change me. So a lot of people say I love reading books. I've read books, but a lot of people say that reading brings you calm. Reading is safe. Yes, reading is my safe space. I've never said no to that. There are a few books, obviously, that brings me peace. But trust me when I say about fiction, it's not entirely true. It is drama. It's all emotions raging up. I don't know how people feel peace by reading a lot of books. Maybe they mean the satisfaction or the happiness they get. I understand that, but books are you watch series, you can handle it, but because you're watching something. But books are not like that. It's all in the imagination, and I am kind of an overthinker. But when I start thinking and imagining things about a book, it leads to places where it's dark sometimes. It's really, really dramatic in my brain, not in the book. Even if it's in the book, it's 10x times more dramatic over in my head. So books keeps me, late at night, and I'm kind of obsessed by reading. So by the next book review video, which is, I might have quite a surprise, or maybe that would have been out already before the book review, but there is quite a surprise which all of you, I didn't think that day would come, so let's see how it goes. So thank you for watching the videos, and if you guys ever read any of these books, or if you've already read these books, please let me know in the comments what you felt, because I don't get to talk to a lot of people about the books I read. See, people read books, but I read different kinds of books. I don't know how, but I've never. There are few books like which I matched with people, but there are a lot of books which I've not matched with people. So if there's really out there someone who has read the books as which I've read or which I've talked about in the videos, please do comment, or feel free to even text me. I would love to always have a juicy conversation about the books I read. Or if you guys have read something way more interesting, and if you want me to get hooked up on it, don't hesitate, recommend the book to me. I will read it, and for books I can make time, or I will snatch time from something else and I'll do it, don't worry. So just put me recommendations about the book, I'll read them and I will review them as well. Anyone who gives me good suggestions, I would be really grateful to them. And let me know in the comments. And if you've been subscribed but you guys really want videos like this, please do subscribe, like, share and comment. So that's all we ask. So until we see you in the next episode, this is Kiran, and this is Kiran Diaries you're watching. Stay tuned. Goodbye.